Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. I am joined with my co-host Dylan Nets Press. It's going to be a good show today. I want to get into just how significant the 2026 NBA draft is, uh, what the tank would look like, what the season would look like, and I'm not one that likes to use the word tank, and I don't think this is a tank season. I just think this is a season where we're going to lose a lot of games because our roster is awful, and we have five rookies who are all hopefully going to play a lot of minutes this year. Dylan, let me. This is really your forte. This is your bread and butter. You got a mock draft out already. Tell everyone where they can find that, and how important is this year's draft, the 2026
Yeah,
draft?
I didn't expect that mock draft to blow up the way that it did. I'm pretty sure it has like over 300,000 views, 7,000 likes on Instagram. It's doing well, but feel free to head on over to my Instagram at NetsPress. It was posted on July 28th. Now, of course, me being the psychopath that I am, some of those positions in terms of drafts ranking has already changed for me. But um, overall, this is something that you could very well see if the draft was today. But yeah, the 2026 draft is by far the end goal. Last year was, you were hoping for something big, but this is the year that you need something big. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the year where it's like, okay, you can develop a young talent and sign a free agent in 2027 to try and compete, or you're trying to trade everything for 2 stars and trying to build around them through free agency. It's really like a, do you continue at the path you're going, or do you have to switch it up? So it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. I'm hoping for that top 3 pick. I want it more than anything this year, and I am a bit more confident this year in getting it than I was last year.
I am not, so I
I
appreciate
am.
your
The NBA is a strange place. Like, I was using the example on Breezy's podcast yesterday. Um, the Pistons got the number 1 overall pick the year after they were the worst team in basketball and they dropped to 5. I think it's an every other year type of thing. If Brooklyn can just be ass, like bottom 2, I don't see a world why you're not a top 3 pick.
because can I be honest with you? I think if Boston misses the playoffs, they're going to
I
give
completely
Boston.
agree on Boston.
Okay.
I completely agree on Boston getting it rigged for them. The difference is that this year there should not be as many tanking teams. Just in terms of
Last year was rough. Last year,
last
but
year was rough. You had Philly that started off bad. You had uh, Washington, Utah, Charlotte. All these teams started off horribly. This year, New Orleans should be better than you. Philly, even without Embiid, should be better than you.
Philly should not be bad considering how soft the East is. Philly with what they have, with McCain
Even
coming
without
back,
Embiid, yeah, even without
they should
Embiid,
still
having a
be
roster
a
of
playing team. I would
Maxey,
say.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maxey, McCain, VJ, you have Paul George, you have Kelly Oubre. They have a solid roster. It's not
Like
like
that
they
is
don't have a
10 times
roster.
better than what we have. Literally 10 times better than what we have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting for sure. Um, but at the end of the day, I think if the Nets are a bottom 2 team, there's no reason they're not given a top 3 pick. They need it. This is like last year. It seemed
Does
they were
the
trying to
NBA
rig
care
things.
about the Nets though? Like I
Well,
don't
so that's
know if they.
actually, yeah, that's one thing that I brought up on Breezy's as well. The Nets were the 8th most profitable team this past season. They were ahead of teams like the Rocket, or I'm sorry, they were ahead of teams like Miami. I want to say the Rockets as well. I would have to pull up the list again. Um, but yeah, I mean they were the 8th most profitable team this past season. They are what, a top 5 team in terms of overall team value.
Yeah, fifth,
Um,
I think. Yeah.
they bring revenue, so a lot of those things get looked into. Like last year made sense to rig it. You had so many opportunities to add already ready uh, playoff teams, great talents, and keep their markets high. Like Philly didn't deserve it, blatantly tanked, were investigated for it, still got rewarded. You know, San Antonio, okay, how much more help can we give Wemby to try and make San Antonio and Wemby the next big thing? Um, Same thing for Dallas. Okay, you trade your superstar. Here's your next one. Like that was the easiest rigging you probably could have done. So bearing any insane injury-prone teams this upcoming season, there really isn't a reason that the Nets don't find a way to get into that top 3 based on their market value, based on the flexibility that they have moving forward to build a contending roster. It's still, when the Nets are winning, they're still a very, very valuable franchise in terms of profitability and market. So I think that there's a more likely chance of getting a top 3 pick this year than there was last year.
I wanted to address this real quick, and we'll switch back to the topic at hand. Alan, who's a Hawks fan, says New Orleans over under 29. He obviously has a very big interest in how many games New Orleans wins. But this is why New Orleans should have traded Zion, because that number is either on point or it's ridiculous. If Zion plays 70 games this year, they're going to win 47 games. If Zion plays 30 games,
I wouldn't say
they're going to win around that number.
I wouldn't say 47, and I love it.
Really good with Zion.
I love Zion. I listen. I've always wanted what the best for him, just in terms of his career path. He was one of my favorite players to watch at Duke. But in terms of what their team currently looks like, they no longer have Brandon Ingram. They no longer have CJ McCollum. They still don't have a starting caliber big man.
Zion's the big man. And I know what you're going to say. He's 6'6". I know what you're going to say. I get it.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Why does it not? It doesn't work defensively.
Well, he can't rebound over guys. He can't box out and rebound guys like Wemby and Beads and Jokic's. Why? Because they're 6 to 8 inches taller than him. It doesn't. I mean, shit. Wemby's a whole foot taller than him. Like that type of stuff doesn't really work. You want to play center against
point guard who can average 10. You have a point guard who can average 10 rebounds a game, though.
Who?
And DeJounte Murray.
Torn Achilles. He's not going to be back.
Oh, that's right. He's out for the season. I totally forgot about that.
So they have Jordan Poole, Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion, that Missy guy from Baylor last year.
I totally forgot. Yeah,
they have a pretty weak depth. I think they lost Brandon Boston. I think Brandon Boston went to go play overseas.
Brandon Boston. I wanted the Nets to sign him.
Me too.
Yeah, Brandon Boston. He was a free agent, an unrestricted free. I don't know is that what happened to him. He went over to Europe to play.
Yeah. He went over to some team in Europe. Like, that's an NBA talent. That's a guy that's better than half of the Nets roster.
So their starting lineup would be Hawkins or Poole at the 2. Murphy at the
definitely
3.
Poole. I think Poole's. I think Poole's going to be at the 1. I think you're going to have Trey Murphy at the 2, Herb at the 3, Zion at the 4, Missy at the 5, and then your bench would be Fears, Hawkins.
That was my question. They're going to start Fears off the. Okay, I was thinking Fears, Hawkins, Murphy, Zion, and Messi, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they put Herb off the bench unless if they're starting him off this season.
Herb. Yeah, okay. There's talent on that team. Like look at Herb, Murphy. Those are. I mean, Herb's not an all-star.
They also
player.
got Kevon Looney. They have Jose Alvarado still, so they have a decent bench. It's
Herb
just nothing
Jones is the
out of this
best
world
3-and-D guy in the league
by far.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's good players on this team, like really good play.
I'm not sure if they still have Sadiq Bey or not, but if they do, that's a solid bench piece.
And off the bench, obviously, you'd have Bey, Queen, Hawkins, Alvarado. You're 9 deep there.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Looney on the Pelicans?
Kevon Looney did sign with the Pelicans this year.
I thought so.
So he'll be the backup big.
And then, what about Queen?
Queen's probably going to play more of the backup 4.
4.
Yeah, I could see him playing that. I mean, it'll be
You would
interesting.
think, though, they traded an unprotected first-round pick to get Queen. You would think the goal is to play him and Zion together, no?
Well, Queen's hurt.
How long is Queen out for?
I believe the first month and a half of the season.
I'm saying long-term. The goal is
Could I see him starting at the beginning of the new year? Yes. When he first comes back, definitely not.
Right.
He'd have to earn those minutes. And again, it's like, where is he earning them? Because Zion is a 4. If you don't trust Queen enough to play the 5, then you're probably utilizing him off the bench.
So give me, let's say Zion plays 67 games. Let's use that. Like, that's a healthy season for him. 67 games. He misses 15 games. How many games do you, assuming the other rest of the court stays relatively healthy?
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot that DeJounte Murray's out for the season. That's why.
Yeah, it's a huge loss because, in all honesty, if they did,
I totally forgot that.
Yeah, if they did have DeJounte, I mean, a starting lineup of DeJounte, like a small ball lineup of DeJounte, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion, that's interesting because that's not really something that we've ever seen. But yeah, with DeJounte hurt, and even if so, that lineup to me is still, yeah, it'll win you 40, 42 games, but it's gonna get swept in the playoffs because you need it big in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not built for the playoffs at all. But I thought like it is built for the regular season, and if they have depth, which is what you want in the regular season, because people only play. You need depth in the regular season because people only play 65 games a year now.
Yeah,
so
to me, the Pelicans are probably going to rank in between that 9 through 11 seed.
Okay.
So
maybe a back end.
Yeah, the Hawks should be getting a lottery pick out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the question is it a top 5 pick or is it 13? That's.
Really I would say it's like an 8 through 14.
I still look at that team, all the guys they have, and Fears I like a lot.
It's not even so much about the players on the team, though. You have to think of the entire conference.
The conference
that entire conference is ridiculous, right? Like if I'm just pulling it up right now, you have OKC is going to be far better than them. Houston added Kevin Durant and Dorian Finney-Smith. They're going to be far better than them.
Yeah,
the Lakers. The Lakers with a skinny Luka. Have we seen the videos and footage?
Luka looks good.
He looks like he's about to.
A year older or a year younger in the offseason.
He looks like he's about to bend over the rest of the league. Let's just put it
he does. Luka looks fit. It looks good. That may just be a picture.
Denver
adding a picture of yourself where you just like super buff in the picture. Like, well, that's a great picture.
I feel like Luka's the type of person that would take like continuous progress pictures, just like once a day, sit in the mirror, just smile. That's like what Luka reminds me of. Denver's going to be far better than New Orleans. They just added Cam Johnson. They just added Bruce Brown.
I'm going to put the Lakers on the shelf for a minute, but yeah, obviously Denver.
Okay.
Let's say
OKC, Houston, Denver. The Clippers are by far going to be better, bearing any injury. But even if Kawhi gets hurt, that team is still a play-in team.
See, here's my thing, though, with the Clippers. If they played New Orleans in a series in the playoffs, they would beat them in 4 or 5. With that age, are they really a good regular season team? How old they are?
I think they're a team that wins about 43 to 47 games.
I agree with you.
That to me is like, I mean, they won 50 this past season, and they did improve. So, but you also have to remember that, Dallas, when Kyrie comes back.
Oh yeah, Dallas is better.
Dallas is going to be better.
Once Kyrie comes back, Dallas is obviously far better.
Yeah.
And Kyrie's expected back, around the new year, they said, right?
Probably end of January.
Early
February, yeah.
Like, if they get him back and they get into the playoffs, that's a dangerous team. Dallas,
like
have obviously D'Angelo Russell, who is phenomenal, who is a hell of a player.
Yeah. Like, I'm talking straight playoff and play-in team. OKC, Houston, Lakers, Denver, Clippers, Minnesota. That's 6. Warriors, Dallas. That's 7 and 8. To me, the battle for 9 and 10 is between San Antonio, New Orleans, and Memphis.
I'm going to put the Lakers down there. Like, I know they have Luka, and I know Luka looks skinny in a picture. I don't know.
I think the Lakers will be better than Minnesota. I think the Lakers will be better than. No, I'll put it at that. I think the Lakers finish at the 5 or 6 seed.
I say 7, 8, or 9. I say they're a play-in team.
Okay. Yeah, the furthest I can see them going is 8. The highest I can see them going is 5. Because I don't see them being better than Denver. I don't see them being better than the Clippers. I don't see them being better than the Rockets and the Thunder.
All right, you want to get into this draft? This is an important draft.
Let's do it, man.
So I want to preface this with I think the Nets are going to win roughly the same amount of games they won last year, maybe slightly less. If you guys remember last year, Cam Thomas, assuming if Cam Thomas isn't on this team and they don't get any valuable for him, then I'm gonna guess the number goes real low.
I'm still extremely shocked about the Tyler Hero Cam Thomas debate on the Nets side of things. I can't believe some of your guys' answers.
I'm one of them. I don't value Tyler Hero like that.
Yeah,
I don't really value his game
Hero's
at
a
all.
year and a half older. He's under contract until the same year that Michael Porter Jr. expires, so you don't have to worry about paying him just yet. And he averages 0.01 less points per game, so he averages 23.9. He averages 5.2 rebounds per game. That's 2 more than Cam Thomas. And he averages 5.5 assists on the dot. And in the second half of the season, he was averaging over 6.5 assists. And he also shoots far better numbers.
The assists are an aberration. He's never averaged that before in his career. He's been in the league 6 years. He's never averaged.
Well, that's also because they're trying to pivot his style of play to a Devin Booker-like type of player, a guy who can score, but also will be the combo primary guard, which is valuable. That's something that you want in a player. I mean, shit, if you don't trust Diego Demon as your primary ball handler, like they kind of showcased in Summer League, why not have Tyler Hero be your primary ball handler, right?
But when you're the primary ball handler, yes, your assists are going to go up. Like that. I mean, it's just like that's why comparing stats to me with two guys who play in completely different circumstances, completely different teams, head coaches, systems, it's not really indicative of like. Look at what Cam Thomas.
He's averaged 5 assists since 2020.
Has Tyler Hero averaged
5.0 in 2020, 5.0 in 2021.
Well, last year he averaged 6, didn't he?
5.4 in 2022, 5.3 in 2023, and 5.2. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at rebounds. I'm an idiot. He's averaged over 4.5 in the last 2 seasons. He had 4.5 in 2023, and he had 5.5 in 2024. So when Jimmy Butler left,
Cam averaged 3.5 assists. I mean, like, yeah. All right, if he played on the Heat, he'd get 1 more assist a game. If he played that offense with like
potentially, I mean, this was definitely the first season that we saw Hero get the opportunity to play make, and his numbers looked great. I mean, they were.
He was an all-star this year, was he not?
Yeah. Well, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. He wasn't a reserve, which is fine. Somebody got hurt. Yeah. He stepped in it. I think it was Dame that was hurt, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody.
He's in that conversation. Whether or not you actually get the call to me is kind of irrelevant. He's in the conversation. He was an all-star caliber player last year. Yeah.
My thing is people say that 2 assists per game isn't a difference. That could be the difference between 4 to 6 points. That's the difference.
Let's say 5, right? Because half the shots you make now are 3, so it's 5 points.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, I mean, 24, 5, and 5. That was MVP numbers like 15 years ago.
It was.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it's all NBA team numbers for sure.
And it's not. Yeah. And the difference is, right, and I think the reason why Hero is so undervalued, we've seen him do it in the finals. We've seen him do it in the playoffs. He has the experience. If there's a player that you want to go out there that you could probably get for relatively, I wouldn't say cheap, but non-superstar package, Hero is the type of guy that you want to have. I mean, think about it. If you somehow find a way to land in the top 3 this year, and you find your franchise caliber superstar, you bring in Hero, you have Michael Porter Jr. as your third option.
That's your best argument right there, is that he obviously fits an offense better. He can be a part of an offense, 100%. But Cam Thomas has to be the offense. That's a better argument than he's better than Cam Thomas. He's definitely, without a doubt, a better fit
100%.
For any offense, for sure. Yeah.
And to have him at $31 million per year for the next 2 years, genuinely not a bad option. Like, I mean, he's a better basketball player than Michael Porter Jr., correct?
Yeah.
So think about it that way. He's making $9 million less.
Okay. I believe this year, and you guys are going to call me crazy, regardless of what happens with Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr. will average 22 and then close to 8 rebounds, 7.5 to 8 rebounds.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Like,
I agree.
Those are good numbers.
No, 100%.
Like you said, 10 years ago, those were all NBA numbers.
100%. I mean, you also have to think of it system-wise, right? Could you imagine if Tyler Hero got the free reign that Cam Thomas has as a shooter? He'd probably be averaging 27.
his efficiency would drop out, and that's my
His
point. Is
efficiencies would probably drop. I think the 3-ball would still be more efficient than Cam Thomas.
He's a better 3-point shooter than Cam Thomas for sure.
Yeah,
So
by far.
yeah.
The efficiency overall, I think, would still be slightly higher than Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas averaged 43.5% from the field this year. That's horrible.
Cam Thomas also launches up a lot of grenades. He puts up a lot of bad shots.
Yeah, no, he does get put in a couple of tough situations for sure.
I don't know. Would you rather him put up a ridiculous shot or him pass the ball to Keon Johnson? I'm being serious. Like it is like Kobe with Smush Parker. Like I'm gonna put up every bad shot. I'm not giving Smush Parker the ball.
I mean, the one thing that I will say,
like,
just as somebody that watched pretty much every game last year and who has watched every game for the 4 years prior, a lot of the times the bad shot selection is coming from him having the ball in his hands. When he's being put in a position where he tries to drive in, doesn't have it, he comes back, he does his tween, and then his step back. Like, a lot of those are self-created because he's not, A, looking to move the ball, or B, taking the shot earlier. So, I mean, it's like a 50-50.
I don't disagree with you. He is too bold. I'm a Cam fan, and I like guys who play like Cam Thomas. Like, that's why I love Jordan Clarkson. I love Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson's never been the guy. He's never been the second guy. He's never been the third guy. He's probably
I love Lou Williams. I love Jay Cross. Like I love these guys, right? I love their game because you could put them in, and when the other teams got on a 12-2 run and we've given up a 10-point lead and we can't put the ball in the basket, go in there, Cam. Go get us some points, and he can do it, right? That's why I love those guys. Again, is it worth $30 million in today's NBA? $30 million ain't what it used to be. I don't know. That's top end. It's worth at least 25, in my opinion, on a good team.
I wouldn't say. I think the most he's worth is 20 on the dot.
That's like, okay.
I mean, think about it this way: Norman Powell was Norman Powell an All-Star this year?
Trey Mann is getting $16 million a year.
But my thing is Norman Powell's getting what, 18?
Yeah.
Okay, he was more efficient. He's a better all-around player, and he's the same caliber of scorer. Norman Powell last year averaged like 21, 22 a game.
All right, okay. Norman Powell's underpaid then compared to his value in the league. Would you agree with that?
No.
Mikal Bridges just got double that. Double.
Championship team. Big difference. Yeah, Norman
He's
Powell
not any good at basketball,
points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2 assists. He shot 48.4% from the field, 48.4% from the field, 41.8% from 3.
Who, Powell did?
Yeah.
Yeah, Powell's good. No, I'm not disagreeing. I just want to say he's underpaid for his value to the league. That's my point.
Well, if you're saying underpaid, I mean, he got his contract like 2-3 years ago.
Right, so did Herb Jones. Is Herb Jones underpaid?
I love this comment. Cam Thomas hasn't made the playoffs. Who cares? Why are we debating playoff runs when Cam Thomas doesn't have one?
All right, let's not get too far in the weeds here. I want to get back to Peterson, Debanza,
yes,
Cameron Booz. I want to stay here. I'm going to say the Nets. I'm going to take 24 wins this year in the Nets. How many wins and where do you think they finish?
I'm saying 19 or 20.
I would be okay with that. And I wouldn't consider it a tank because I think they're going to play all their rookies as many minutes as they can, which isn't tanking. Like, there's a difference between tanking and being bad. I think the Nets are just bad. Would you agree with that sentiment?
100%. This is on paper. This is the second worst roster in basketball. Behind
it's the worst. I looked at Utah. Utah is better. You're saying Utah is the other one?
Yeah, they got rid of John Collins. You know, did they get rid of Jordan Clarkson? Isn't he in New York?
Clarkson's a Knick. Yeah, Clarkson's a Knick.
They don't have Jordan Clarkson anymore. Who do they have? Keontae George, Isaiah Collier. Taylor Hendricks literally snapped his leg in half last year. Who knows if he's coming back anything special? They have Markkanen, who they'll probably load manage the shit out of again. They have Walker Kessler back. They got Ace Bailey. Outside of that, who the hell do they have?
Well, they have Ace Bailey. They have Markkanen. Yeah, it's pretty. They have Niang.
Like right now with
Kessler, Markkanen, right there is. Like who?
Like if you're just comparing starting fives, and even depth, honestly, you have. Let's just say Cam Thomas comes back. You have Cam Thomas. You have Michael Porter Jr. You have Nick Claxton. Those three are already are
All
of
right,
similar.
let
if
me
not
ask you a
better.
question. I said you can have two of these guys. You can have Marketing and Walker, or you can have Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. as your two best players. Which two would you
A
take?
defensive anchor and a guy that's been an all-star. Yeah, I'm probably taking those two.
So at the top, Utah. I don't really want to get
Like
into
if
a
you're
pissing
comparing player for
contest on who
player,
sucks more, Utah or
yeah, if you're
Brooklyn.
comparing player for player, let's just put it in order. Larry Markkinen's better than Cam Thomas, so the best player on their team is better than our best player. Michael Porter Jr. and Walker Kessler.
That's a fit thing. Who you would take there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I personally am probably taking Michael Porter Jr., but again, he's also playing next to Nick Claxton, so it's like that works. You know,
yeah.
who's next? Nick Claxton to Ace Bailey.
Well,
Yeah,
the upside there, obviously, I'm taking Bailey
yeah, of
because Nick
course. In
Claxton
terms of first
blocks.
year
Yeah.
compared to sixth, seventh year, probably taking Claxton in terms of winning impact. Um, yeah, it depends. I think Utah has the worst roster this year. I think Brooklyn's second.
All right. Yeah, it's not really. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a right answer to who's
Mhm.
worse, Brooklyn or Utah, and I'm sure that answer really doesn't matter. It's really
Yeah, no, not at
irrelevant.
all. It's like it's throwing shit in fire. It's still
Yeah.
gonna smell like ass.
um. So to me, there's a drop off at 2 to 3. And
Mhm.
I'll get your take on this. And then there's a drop. I think 3 and 4 I like a lot. And then there's a drop off at 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So I would say 1 and 2 is in a group in a tier by themselves in Peterson and Debanza. Boozer and Nate Ament is at tier 2. And then Mikael Brown, Akoff, the rest of those guys are tier 3 and below. How would you assess that take?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
All right, so Peterson and Debanza is tier 1. That's 1A, gold. Platinum.
Oh, I think you have to throw Boozer in there also.
You think Boozer goes in the same tier as Peterson and Debanza?
100%. I think he's
Okay, break it
arguably
down.
he could
Is that just
arguably go
because he
number
goes
one.
to Duke? If
No,
he went to,
no.
okay.
It's genuinely because he's Paolo Banchero 2.0. And if you remember the year
Really?
that Paolo went number one, he was originally not projected to go number one.
But prior to the season, it was not projected to go number 1. Okay.
I believe even leading up. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah, that's what, yeah.
What year was
Up to
Paolo drafted?
21,
Let's
22,
see. 2022.
2022.
So let's see. 2022 draft. You had, let's see, Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith. Like that was like the Paolo, Chet, and Jabari were the top three. And heading into college, it was projected to be Chet, Jabari, and
sure.
Paolo, I believe.
Yeah. And we would agree that Orlando made the right call there, right? Paolo
100%. Oh my God, 100%. Paolo Banchero is going to be in MVP conversations. You know, Chet's just a defensive player of the year caliber guy that's going to sit behind Wemby for the rest of his career, bearing any health.
It's rough being comp to Wemby, but I feel like there's a little Clyde Drexler in there. Like Clyde Drexler was one hell of a basketball player. Like, what about Jordan? That's. And I feel like Carmelo got that a little bit with Wade and Bron in his draft class too. So he played against, Wade and Bron. Yes, Wade and Bron are better than Carmelo Anthony. If that's the worst knock you can have on him, he's still a pretty good player. That's
100%.
All right. Darren Peterson, I read one article on this that he's the most complete guard in 6'5", 195. He's got good size. He's got kind of a grown man body already. You can see he's going to fill out nicely. Peterson's skill set to me is staggering. I've heard, I read he's also got a 6'10" wingspan.
Yeah. All
of these guys have a +3, +5 wingspan. Where do they find it? Are these guys made in labs? I was a boxer. I was 5'11". I had a 6'2" wingspan. So a +3 wingspan, and that was crazy. Like every trainer said, look at his. Now everyone is +5 wingspan. Everybody is wild to me. Like, where do we find these guys? Everyone's got are we making these people in labs? But let's start with Peterson. Because to me, Peterson and Debanza is a real debate. Debanza has the better basketball body. Darren Peterson is the more skilled player.
Yes.
this is a toss up to me right now. Things appear, and maybe it depends on what teams would draft, that Peterson would go 1. Best two guards since Kobe is what I've heard. The most skilled 2 guards since Kobe.
I look at it this way. He's probably the best overall guard prospect that I have personally seen since Kyrie. And if you remember how hyped up Kyrie was, the kid played less than 13 games in college and still went number 1. You know what I mean? Like, Darren Peterson's the real deal. He's got an Anthony Edwards body with a Tracy McGrady style of play. It's insane.
Then, so right now, Peterson and Dembele kind of give us a breakdown, skills sets, pros, cons, where you would rank them. You put Boozer in the same tier. You say it's 1, 2, and 3. They're all platinum tier. Correct?
Yeah, it's a 3-headed monster to see who's going number 1. It's really going to depend on like the team that probably gets number 1, right? Like, say it's Utah. Peterson makes the most sense because they really need a guard next to Ace Bailey, Larry Markkinen, and Walker Kessler, right? Say that it is Washington, who has Bub Carrington and Trey Johnson at their 1 and 2. They don't need a Darren Peterson. They're probably going with a Boozer to put next to a Sarr. Say that it's Brooklyn that gets the number 1 pick, right? You have Yegor Demon. If you have Cam Thomas back, you don't need a guard. You're probably going with AJ Dembele. You need that athletic 3-level scoring small forward. So it really does depend on the team that gets it. Now, of course, I'm basing it off of logical sense and team fit. A lot of the times guys just draft based on the upside, so that could be completely different. But that's how I would break it down. Like, Utah needs a guard, they go Darren Peterson. Washington needs the perfect fit next to Alex Sarr. You know, you go Cam Boozer because you already have Bilal Coulibaly at the 3. And then if you have Brooklyn at number 1, Dembele is the clear and obvious choice because you're already guard heavy.
It's kind of the comp amount. I mean, I don't know. So if it was your pick, if you were the Brooklyn Nets, you're drafting 1. As of right now, we have a whole year until the draft, basically 11 months. Mm-hmm. Peterson, Dembele. I don't know. I really don't know. I could make a good argument for both of them. I think I would lean Dembele, but I look at Darren Peterson like, God, I want him.
I know. I'm the same way. I think
putting Boozer in there too. So go ahead. 1, 2, and 3. I'm putting Cameron Boozer at 3.
In terms of who I would want in Brooklyn?
Who you would take. You're the Brooklyn Nets. I give you Sean Marks for a job. We get the first pick in the draft.
Dembele at 1, Boozer at 2, Peterson at 3.
You're taking Boozer at 1, you said?
No. Dembele at 1, Boozer at 2, Peterson at 3. Again, the only reason I say that is because I think the Nets are in dire need of a franchise wing. You know, in this league, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be a championship caliber team without a superstar 2-way forward, right? Boozer plays both ends of the floor, has an incredible IQ as a playmaker, has a incredible touch as an offensive player from all 3 levels. Same thing with Dembele, freak athlete, 3-level scorer, high intense defender. Like, those are the 2 that make the most sense for Brooklyn right now. Now, if they drafted Darren Peterson, would I be upset? Hell no, because he's by far my favorite prospect in this year's draft. So it really just depends on the route that they think. Now, the only way that Peterson makes sense is if they don't view Cam Thomas as the guy, and that's blatantly obvious that they don't. So is there a chance that if the Nets were to get the number 1 pick that it would be Peterson? 100%, because that's
I just want to. I'm gonna let you continue. I just want to put this out in the ethos. Like, guys, look, I'm a Cam Thomas guy. I really value what Cam Thomas brings to the table. Right? He has absolutely no say whether or not we bring in Darren Peterson. Sorry, like we're
that's
not gonna not bring in Darren Peterson.
Like, it's kind of similar with Kyrie, right? Like, that's kind of how I'm viewing the Cam Thomas situation. I think it's kind of similar to Kyrie. I don't think they don't respect each other like the way that Kyrie and Sy did, but the moment that Kyrie gave indication that he wanted out, they sent him out, right? I think it's kind of similar with Cam Thomas. If you find his replacement and know that this guy's better, goodbye, Cam Thomas. Like, and I'm sorry, but if you don't watch these players, you have no say. But Peterson, as a senior in high school, is already more valuable than anything that Cam Thomas has ever been in his career, in his college career, in his high school career. And that is just a fact. Darren Peterson is by far levels ahead of Cam Thomas currently. If Darren Peterson was to replace Cam Thomas in today's NBA at his age already, he would be a better player than Cam Thomas is.
So we're gonna come back to this real quick, but I do want to address this comment because Nate Ament is a guy that I like a lot.
Yeah.
I rank him real high. I put him in the same tier. I think 3 and 4, Boozer and Ament are both really, really high impact players. What are your thoughts on Nate Ament? A guy that I can't see dropping out of the top 4. If we got him, let's say we picked 4, we got Nate Ament. Do you agree that's where he would go? And then what kind of player would the Nets be getting?
Yeah, I mean, if you're comping him to anything, I think that he is a better prospect version of Noah Senge. So I think that at 6'10", the versatility that he brings on both ends of the floor, his ability to create his own shot, it's a very interesting prospect. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a lesser Michael Porter Jr. coming out of high school. MPJ coming out of high school was the number 1 overall pick. And then,
I was going to say he's Michael Porter would have been without the injuries. Like, that's kind of, he can shoot, he's long, he's athletic. Like, I look at him, I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, Nate is a very good prospect. I think it's going to be a debate on whether or not Mikal Brown or Nate Ament goes number 4. Chris Sinak could be another guy that potentially.
Brown, you said? Who was the guy?
Yeah, Mikal Brown and Nate Ament. I think those are the 2 that you could debate for number 4 and 5.
So, like, in my tier ranking, I had Peterson and Tabantza as platinum tier. We'll say Cameron Boozer and Nate Ament as diamond tier. And then Mikal Brown was the top guy in, like, the gold tier. I saw a pretty – and I like Brown. But I don't know. Nate Ament, to me, looks like exactly the player. If he put on size, he could guard the 3, 4, 5. You know, like, defensively, he's really good. The only thing is he's a little bit small. Right now, he's clearly a 3. And I don't know if he could guard 4s and 5s. If you put weight on, he could. He's super athletic. To me, Nate Ament is a guy with tremendous upside and 0 downside. Like, there's no way you draft Nate Ament and you get a bust. Maybe he's not an all-star caliber player, but he's Michael Porter Jr. Like, there's no way he's not an excellent basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, it could be very interesting. And that's the crazy part is, like, the 4 through 8 range right now is so good in this draft. You have Nate, you have Mikal Brown, you have Chris Sinak, you have Tonda, you have Jaden Quinnance. Like, those are 5 really good players that you could potentially be drafting in that 4 through 8 range. So it's going to be a battle for. I think one of Nate Ament and Mikal Brown will be number 4, and then you could probably debate the range of 5 through 8.
All right, so that kind of segues into my after the top 3, and I'll say 4. How big is the drop off? Yeah, I've heard this draft compared to the Dwayne. What was it? 03, I guess. Wade, Carmelo, Bosh.
Yeah,
like, it's that level of draft at the top, and obviously Brown was the big prize there.
I mean, think about it this way: a guy like Ko Pate or Darius Acuff probably goes top 6 in the Alex Sarr, Stephon Castle draft class. It's one of the less talented draft class that you've seen. Those are guys that I have projected between 10 through 12. You know what I mean? Like there's a very, very big difference between this past year's draft class and this upcoming year's draft class compared to that 2024 one. So you could be getting a high level prospect. I mean, I have Dame Sarr, I think at 13 or 14. And that's a guy who could easily jump up into the top 10. Duke's a bit packed this year. They have Caden Boozer at the 1, Dame Sarr at the 2. They brought back Isaiah Evans. He'll be playing the 3. They have Cam Boozer playing the 4. Like, they have a very stacked roster, which could lessen some of the draft stock for certain players if they don't fit the system correctly. But they have 4 or 5 guys who could go first round this year. So, to me, I definitely think that the level of talent in terms of upside probably drops off at Dame Sarr for me. And if you're looking at my list that I sent you, that's the yellow tier. So that's my 3rd tier.
Let me pull that back up again. Yeah. So do you mind if I read this off to give you
go for it.
Okay. So we'll call it his platinum tier. He's got the top 3. Then he's got a drop off until we'll call it the diamond tier is Ament, Brown, Sinak, Tunde. How do you say the guy's name from Kentucky? Jaden
Quinnance. I that's how I've been saying it.
And Caleb Wilson. And then he has, we'll call it the gold tier is Kareem Lopez, Acuff. I think Acuff's a little low on his list, honestly. Koa Pete, Dash Daniels, I also think is low on his list, and Dame Sarr. Then you're going to start to lose me. He's got Boogie Fland, Isaiah Evans, Yaxel Lendeborg, names that we know from this past draft, that JT Toppin, LeBron Filan, guys like that in the next tier. And then Caden Boozer and a bunch of other guys, Carter Knox, Alex Condon, a bunch of those guys in the tier following that. So that would kind of, how many names are on this list?
34.
So that would be your kind of your first round prospects.
Yeah.
How many All-Star caliber players? Again, if you actually get the call or not, it's irrelevant to me. How many All-Star caliber players do you think are in this draft, and how many franchise-changing players do you think are in this draft?
Franchise-changing, I think there's 4. In terms of All-Star caliber ceilings, I think you have Peterson, DeBansta, Boozer, Ament, Mikal Brown, Chris Sinak, Tonda. I think that you can put Darius Acuff in that conversation. He really, he's going to be one of those guys.
So why do you have him so low? You have him in the yellow tier.
Yeah, he's 6'1". He's a bit undersized, but in terms of the skill set that he brings, it's very Darius Garland, Kyrie-like. And just in terms of the skill set that he has, like the ball handling, the efficient scoring, to me, he's going to be like, if I had to pick one guy who potentially can jump up into that top 5 conversation, like I did last year with Yegor, which at one point he was, to me it would be Acuff. I think just in terms of the skill set that he has, he's so talented. So yeah, Peterson, DeBansta, Boozer, Ament, Mikal Brown, Chris Sinek, Tonda, Acuff, and then I would probably say Dame Sarr. I think those are the 7 guys that I would make as like likely to become all-star type of players.
I want to flip it around. Every draft, including the LeBron draft, there's a bust in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Of the names you've given me, the names at the top of this list, who's got the highest bust probability of the top 5 names or so on your board?
That's tough. That's really tough because to me, how I break this down is Peterson's the most skilled, DeBanst is the highest ceiling, Boozer's the most NBA ready. So I don't think any of those 3 will be busts necessarily. Could one drop to being a 3rd option caliber player in terms of once their development's done? Maybe. But if you want to consider that a bust, then so be it. I think the one person that you can maybe see being a bust in this year's draft is either Dash Daniels or Caleb Wilson. I'm a big Caleb Wilson guy. I think he's a very well-rounded stretch 4, but it's a UNC product. And UNC has just not been developing players properly. And then with Dash Daniels, he looked very rough in the international Olympic games that he was just playing in. He's a bit smaller than his brother. At 6'6", his brother's 6'8". There's a bit of a drop there. So I don't know. I think if there's going to be 2 guys that could be bust potentials that are potential lottery picks, it would be Caleb Wilson and Dash Daniels.
All right. And then the other guys is the guys in the yellow tier or below. And I think we're both going to say Acuff here. Mm-hmm. What's the one guy, yellow tier or below? So below Caleb Wilson. That starts with Kareem Lopez and goes down to the bottom of the draft. Who would you say is going to be the steal of the draft? Like who in there is going to shock people with how good he is?
I would say Dame Sarr, Kopet, whatever his freaking name is, and then Acuff. I think those are the 3 guys in that tier that are going to be extremely undervalued because of how the top 8 are viewed. But overall, I think those 3 guys have 3rd option, potential with their ceilings being 2nd options, their floors being 4th options. So it's still a very key piece to a team long term.
Yeah, but a 4th option is not what you want if you're taking a top 10.
No,
pick.
definitely
really,
not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Then hang on one second. Give me 1 second. Kind of talk about where you think the Nets may fit and where Peterson and DeBansta and Cameron Boozer might fit in. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, with a guy like Peterson, again, it's if you take him, that's your Cam Thomas replacement. They don't play together. They cannot play together. I think Yegor at the 1 and Peterson at the 2 is probably the best combination of guards that you could possibly add. With Peterson's ability to score from all three levels of the floor, he brings an athleticism at the 2 guard that's not very usual. Like he's a freak athlete. This is a guy who has Anthony Edwards athleticism, Tracy McGrady 3-level scoring, and top tier defensive IQ abilities as well. So, the fit for Peterson is there. It's just certain fans are not going to like when that means replacing Cam Thomas. Say the Nets do bring back Cam Thomas and they think that he's actually the guy that they could try and build around as like a second, third option, then Dembánsta is your guy at number 1. At 6'9", some people are saying that he's 6'10". We've all probably seen the picture of him and his vertical at BYU. His head is completely over the rim. There's not many guys that come into the league like that, and especially with his size, he's not a skinny, frail 6'9" either. He's built for his size already and his age. I think Dembánsta is an absurd fit long term. I think he could be one of those guys that if you're just looking off of high school and college tape, you could say that he's a guaranteed superstar in this league.
Who are we talking about?
Dembánsta.
Yeah, I don't see with not just his body, which is amazing, his skill set, and Boozer. I don't think Boozer can be a bust. But he was the one I would say you might look back at him and say he's just kind of all right. Like great touch around the rim. He's a good finisher. He's obviously strong as hell. I don't know. Like how would you're calling him Paolo Banchero, right? That's what you're counting him out to be.
Yeah, 100%. Boozer 100% is Paolo 2.0. Like the frame that he brings, in terms of his body, the play style, the post ability, the sidestep, step back that he uses for his mid-range shot creation, his catch and shoot 3-point ability, his ball handle, his playmaking IQ. Everything is quite literally if you just copy and pasted Paolo into another human being. I absolutely think the Paolo comp is by far the easiest comp that you could give a player in this draft class, for sure.
Give Peterson a comp.
It's so tough.
Yeah, I know.
It's so tough. Like you have Anthony Edwards build with Tracy McGrady skill set.
Yeah,
and Penny Hardaway IQ. Like
I want people to know what.
Player.
Yeah, what like to me, Darren Peterson is the best player in the draft. Now, is he the first pick in the draft? To me, he's 1 or 2. I don't know. I still may take Dembánsta, but Darren Peterson is a very, very unique, very, very special talent. Like, just go Google on YouTube. Just YouTube Darren Peterson highlights Darren Peterson's game. You guys are going to be amazed. I loved Ace Bailey from a skill set. I know Bailey's 6'9", but from a skill set, Darren Peterson blows him away. Like Darren Peterson is something really to behold as a 2 guard. Like I'm telling you, if you read scouting reports, saying the best 2 guards we've seen since Kobe, that's where we're at.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. He is. Like I said, he is the most skilled guard. I'm not saying like point guard, shooting guard. He's a combo guard. He's the most skilled guard that I have personally seen in a draft since Kyrie. In terms of overall play style and value, yeah, it's probably Kobe. Like he's that level of good. He could be an immediate superstar impact player, giving you 19 plus per game in his rookie season. Like he's the real deal.
So and Kobe obviously the best player of the LeBron era, as we've discussed previously on this show.
Yeah. Kobe's era stopped in 03. No, I'll give him 07. I'll give him 07.
He won 2 more. He won a championship in 2010.
I know.
So I want to get into just kind of rounding this off, closing this out. I know you got to run in about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The Brooklyn Nets. What do they got? We all say the top 3 guys. What do the Nets have to do to get a top 3 pick? Is it compete? Is it sign a free agent? Is it just have the worst record in the NBA? What is the NBA? What do the Nets have to do to convince the NBA that they're worthy of one of these 3 guys?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, like there's nothing to prove. We need it. There's
But
really like
so does Utah. So does a lot
yeah,
a
but
lot
Utah
of
just
teams could
got
use
Ace.
AJ
Utah just got
Defensa or
Ace, and they
Darren
already have a
Peterson.
proven all-star. You know what I mean? Like Washington, they've drafted 3 guys in the top 5 already. They got Alex, or I should say top 10, like Alex Sarr, Cool Lobby, Bob Carrington. They just got Trey Johnson in the top 6. So realistically, they have 2 top 6 picks and, 2 other top 12 picks. Like they don't need anything more. Give it to us. We need it. We have nothing.
But this
We have
isn't
no hope.
basketball welfare, bro. The NBA is an organization that isn't maximizing profits right now, at least in the U.S. Like they're not interested in equity. They're interested in making as much money as possible and getting Peterson and Debansa and Booza in good situations that are good and profitable for the NBA. Right? There's a reason why Cooper Flagg went to a team that's ready to compete. So they can put him in the playoffs and they can sell him in the playoffs and they don't want to hide Cooper Flagg on Washington. They don't want to hide him on Utah where no one's going to watch him, right? They want to put him front and center. Where can we put him where he's going to go into the playoffs and we can showcase him day one? Well, Dallas is a pretty good fit. And the same thing with San Antonio, right? So to me, like, I don't have a great feeling that the Nets are going to pick in the top 3. Now, I think very well they could finish with one of the 3 worst records, which means it would pick in the top 6. I think it's possible they could finish with the worst record. I do. They're that bad. And the rest of the league isn't going to tank like it did last year. So if they finish with the worst record, they can't pick worse than 4, correct?
If they're the worst record, they can't pick less than 5.
5. We got to stay in the top 4 here, Dylan. We got to stay in the top 4 here.
I mean, think about it this way. Again, and I'm going to keep using this example because this is how much of a difference maker it is. If you were the worst team this year and you got 5, which did happen, you got Ace Bailey. That's the level of difference that you're seeing in picking, 5 compared to picking 8. You know what I mean? So the floor of the pick needs to be taken seriously. If I'm the Nets, I don't give a shit if I get investigated for it, fined for it. I'm going to be the worst team in basketball because you can't drop me further than 5. And if you're telling me that I can still land one of those top 8 picks in terms of the prospects that I have listed, so be it.
At 5, who you're taking? Who at 5? You're taking I don't want to drop to 5. I think there's
5?
such Mikal Brown.
At 5 is tough. I mean, if I'm being genuine, I love Chris Sinek. 6'10", 6'11" center out of Houston.
Okay. The problem to me is 5 is Mikal Brown, another point guard.
I know.
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. I think Sinek is incredibly talented for the big man position. He's by far the best big in this draft class. And again, it feels like you're kind of just trying to find the replacements for certain guys. And if you get a guy like Sinek, then my God, package up Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton and picks and go get a star.
The other question, someone in the comment put, we need more 2026 picks. Well, here's the problem. We took 5 guys in 2025. So how many roster spots are you going to really have on guys who are in their first and second year? That's why I was saying, like, let's try to trade these picks for a pick next year. Right? I'll give you my 22nd overall pick. You give me an unprotected pick in the first round. Now, who wants to overspend to draft somebody at 2020, to draft Noel or whoever you want at 22? But trade that pick for their pick next year. You could have done that, right? Like I think drafting 5 guys this year is like the worst idea anyone ever came up with. When you suggested that the Nets may do that or talking about doing that, I laughed because it's such a bad idea. And then they did it. I mean, how many guys are you going to draft next year after you just took 5 in this draft class?
Yeah, I mean, if I could switch the draft classes to select 5 picks, it would certainly be this one. But at the end of the day, I think you need to get one more pick, right? Like, say that you get
2. Okay, yeah, we can get 2.
Say that you get a top 3 pick, right? Whoever you want to draft. To me, then you need to go in and get that 14 through 20 range where you can grab a guy like, maybe you can grab one of Kopate or Dame Sarr or, Isaiah Evans or Nicholas Abdelis or JT Toppin. Like, I would be okay with that. But you definitely need to get another one this year. I'm hoping what they do is they package up a 2027 pick plus the 2 second-round picks that we have this year to move up into that like 15 through 20 range. If you have to include a player in that, like maybe you give up the 2027 pick to Dariq Whitehead and both of the seconds to move up to like 16 through 20 or 15 through 20, whatever it may be. Either way, they got to try and figure something out to get one more pick, because realistically, having 7 prospects, you got to hit on 3 of them, right?
No, you don't. You can ask the Knicks about that. You don't. No. All right. Yeah. I'm okay with getting one more pick in this draft too, but like, you got to play them at some point. And now, like, you're drafting first-round picks, they're not even going to be on your depth chart, right? They're not even playable, right? So like, you got to play all these guys. If you pick 5 guys a year, you don't even have rotational spots to play them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at a certain point, like, enough. Okay, we have it, and that's what I'm saying. We have enough picks. If you want to get one more pick, okay. But how many 19-year-olds do you want to have on one team who are all going to be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 together? And some of them not getting any minutes because you just have too many of them. Like, you got to try to get these guys into games. If you got 12 of them, you can't give them all enough minutes.
No.
All right. I know you got to wrap up soon, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right. When do you wanna come back? We gotta do a Cam Thomas update. What is today? Thursday?
Today is Thursday.
Friday, Saturday. What works for you?
We'll figure it out. I got to figure out what my days are looking like, but we'll get something going here shortly.
All right. We got to get in here. We got to get a Cam Thomas update. I keep asking, do you think Cam Thomas is going to be a Brooklyn Net in 25-26? I am at this point 90% convinced he will not be on this team next year.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's we're midway through the first week of August. It's not looking good.
It's like they're not even flirting with each other. It's like we both don't want this, right?
Yeah,
it's like, are you interested in that girl? No. Are you interested in that guy? No. Well, do you think they're going to get together? I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's kind of Remember, when things are quiet, that's usually when weird things happen, right? And the fact that we're not hearing about any extension talks or coming back or renegotiations kind of makes me think that there could be a trade being worked out, and who knows?
I think that's the most likely, a sign and trade. I keep saying with the Pistons, I think that Jaden Ivey thing has legs. I think Cam Thomas and Cade Cunningham would be a tremendous backcourt together. I think 100%. It makes sense for Detroit, and I think it makes sense for the Nets in the sense that they don't want Cam Thomas.
No, I agree. I don't think he's just. I just don't see him being the long-term guy, whether people like to hear that or not.
No, but the fact that he can't get a Terrence Mann contract is extraordinary. It truly is.
It's different markets, different values. Terrence Mann had a market for him. The Clippers extended him prior to the offseason.
Terrence Mann at his best season, look, $15 million in today's NBA is not a lot of money. It's not.
Yeah, but you don't cough up money to players who can't get it elsewhere. Like, that's just outbidding yourself.
Understood.
That's like if you're on eBay, right? And
I got you. I hear you. No,
and a Cooper Flag signed autograph has 1 second left on the clock, and your bid is there for $1. Nobody else has put a bid on it. You're not going to put $2 in because you think somebody's going to outbid you. You wait that last second out.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And like what I would say is, do you want Cam Thomas for the next 4 years?
No.
Then don't pay him. I agree with you. If the answer is yes, then you gotta pay him. You can't try to nickel and dime him so bad where he's not going to sign. Like I said, I want him here for 4 years. I'd give him 20. I'd offer him $20 million a year, so $80 million for 4 years. But I want him here. If you don't want him here, don't offer him that. If you don't want him here, just trade him.
Yeah, I'm at the point where the max contract I would give him is $16 million a year for 3 years, and the third year is a team option. So this way, if you want to opt out of him, you can to free up the cap space for 2027.
I can't see a world where you'd opt out of a $16 million Cam Thomas. I just value him. Like I said, I value Jordan Clarkson. I value Lou Williams. I value these guys a lot. I don't see a $16 million. It's 10% of the cap, Dylan.
You're on a rebuilding team. These stats that you're putting up means nothing. And when you're doing the only thing that you know how to do, which is score, and you're not doing it efficiently, it's not valuable to me. It's replaceable. It's just the hard truth. I think that this level of scoring that he's done is extremely replaceable.
He does the hardest thing there is to do.
They just brought in Michael Porter Jr. They just put scoring's the easiest thing to do in basketball.
I disagree with you. I disagree. And
I mean, just look at Trey Murphy, for example. Look at what Michael Porter Jr. is probably going to do this year, for example. Like all of these. Look at Cam Johnson, for example. Career 13-point per game scorer. Came to Brooklyn and averaged 19. You think he's going to do that again in Denver?
No, he's going to average 12 in Denver.
It's my thing, right? Scoring's easy when you're on a dog shit team. It is. Sadiq Bey put up 50 on the Pistons.
So value Mikal Bridges. Why am I? We're gonna end on this because I have no value for Mikal Bridges, like zero. When he was here, I wanted him gone. He's horrible. I didn't understand why they traded for him. They put him in the game. Outside of that first 20 games he played with the Nets. Besides that, he was absolutely horrible. And then they traded him. I couldn't have been happier with that. Why am I valuing Mikal Bridges? You guys keep telling me he's a role player, but paid like a star. And then he can't shoot and can't defend, but he's a 3-and-D guy. So he's a 3-and-D guy, minus the 3 and minus the D. I value him in the same way Sean Marks values Cam Thomas, which is to say, not at all. I don't want him. I would rather Klay Thompson than him, who I think is now a borderline NBA player. I'd rather a lot of guys than him. Like Duncan Robinson. I don't know. At least Duncan Robinson can shoot. I think Duncan Robinson is trash, but at least he can shoot. Bridges can't even shoot anymore. I don't have any value for Mikal Bridges in any way, shape, or form. I don't even want him. Like, do you want to give him $20 million a year? Let someone else give it to him. Like, there is better things I can do with that $20 million than give it to Mikal Bridges. Your thoughts, Dylan, and we'll wrap.
He's making 2.5 less than Michael Porter Jr.'s contract. He's on a contending team. I think it's the value that needs to be done to win a championship. So I don't hate the decision on their end.
I think the money could be spent. The Knicks are cap strung. That money could be spent so much better than Mikal Bridges. They're giving almost $80 million, $80 million, or roughly half the cap to OG and Bridges.
Yeah, pretty much.
You better win a championship this year, or that this is like those 2028 picks and beyond for the Nets. Those are gold. Because to me, that is an unforgivable sin. The only way that you could possibly forgive $80 million to OG and Bridges is to win a championship. I don't care that Brunson took a pay cut. Like that is a crime in Italy. It's a fate worse than death, paying $80 million to OG and Bridge. $80 million, bro. Am I the only one that thinks that is wildly insane?
You got to do what you got to do to win a championship. If they win it, nobody's going to care.
That's all I'm going to say. I agreed, 100%. If you win a championship, no one cares. Are the Knicks better than Oklahoma City?
No.
You're not winning a championship. All right. Well, I'm not even a Knicks hater. I'm just saying, I don't even dislike OG. I think OG is a very, very good role player. Giving two role players about $40 million a year to me is extraordinary. All right. We'll be in contact.
Yes, sir.
I'll text you tomorrow. All right. You want to close out? Any final closing thoughts on this?
Hopefully they get top 3, because we're going to be talking about this for the next 10 months. So hopefully it goes in our favor this time around.
We got a lot. Well, maybe we'll be in play in contention. We can talk about meaningful games.
Yeah, I'd rather die in a fire. They better not make this miserable as it was last year. Just do the job that you know that needs to be done.
I don't think that. I think there are less tanking teams, and I think like the Nets are at least as bad as they were last year. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to get to the 9-9 start or whatever they had. I don't. I think Cam Thomas is going to. If Cam Thomas is here, he's going to play more. That's going to help. But I can't see them winning as more games than they did last. I'm going with 24. You're going with 19. We're not far off here.
Yeah. I mean, genuinely, the only teams that even make sense to be bad this year is probably Chicago, Utah, and Brooklyn. That's really the only, and Sacramento. Those are the only 4 teams that I genuinely see being bottom tier. Like, Portland looked better last year. Phoenix just got Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. San Antonio is going to be healthy. New Orleans has Zion back and Trey Murphy's leap. Washington has a really good young core, and they also have guys who are going to be taking their second, third year leaps. Philly, if they stay relatively healthy, shouldn't be there. Toronto with Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, that should not be a bottom tier team. Atlanta got much better. Like, there's really no team. I mean, Indiana may be bottom tier with Halliburton out, but I don't think so. I think Nembhard's going to be the most improved player of the year next year. So
I think that's a good point. And my way too early MVP for next season is Cade Cunningham.
I'm saying Luka.
That's good. They're going to give him one eventually, so that's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I got to wrap. We'll be back within the next couple of days. August 7th, 2025, from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.